Hey guys, tonight we're going to take a long, slow, utterly mesmerizing journey back in time. Close your eyes for a moment, if you dare, and imagine it, the distant murmur of a bustling ancient city, the soft clatter of sandals on cobblestones, and the warm, earthy scent of damp stone and exotic oils drifting on the breeze. You're standing, in your mind's eye, before a towering edifice of polished marble and sun-baked brick, its grand arches inviting you in, promising something more than mere cleanliness. This isn't your local gym's sad little shower room. Oh no. This is an experience, a ritual, a profound immersion in the very fabric of Roman life. You're about to step into the beating heart of their social world, their wellness center, their community hub, all rolled into one magnificent structure. Prepare yourself, because you probably won't survive the sheer boredom of how relaxing this will be. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself standing at the edge of a wide, paved street, the midday sun, a benevolent golden orb, warming your shoulders. Before you, massive, stoic, rises the facade of the Thermae, the grand Roman public bathhouse. Its sheer scale is almost disorienting. Think less public swimming pool and more architectural marvel, blended with a wellness resort and a community center. You squint up at the soaring arches, intricately carved cornices, and perhaps a statue or two of a draped goddess or a muscular hero, silently overseeing the throngs below. The air here, even before you step inside, feels different. A faint, almost imperceptible mist, carrying the mingled sense of something clean and something herbal. It's an aroma unlike anything you've encountered, a promise of warmth. And exotic perfumes, the sheer volume of people flowing in and out is astonishing. Roman citizens, clad in their tunics and togas, glide past you with an easy, practiced grace. Enslaved individuals, distinguishable by their simpler attire, hurry about carrying baskets of towels or small, polished bronze containers. Soldiers, their armor gleaming dully, mix with merchants, philosophers, and even what appear to be families with chattering children. This isn't just a place for the elite, though they certainly have their dedicated spaces. It's a democratic institution, open, at least in theory, to almost everyone, for a minimal fee, if any. Historians still argue whether the lowest classes truly accessed the baths as frequently as the wealthy. But the evidence suggests a wide social spectrum mingling. Here, you drift closer, drawn by an invisible current, and find yourself at one of the immense entrances. No turnstiles here, no electronic gates, just a vast, arched doorway, beckoning you into its cool, shadowed interior. The soundscape shifts as you cross the threshold. The street noise softens, replaced by a low hum, a blend of distant splashing, hushed conversations. The rhythmic scraping of strigils, we'll get to those. Don't you worry, and the occasional echoing laugh. The air inside is cooler, heavier, imbued with that unique bathhouse scent. It's a smell that promises deep relaxation, a kind of primal comfort. As your eyes adjust to the dim light, you begin to discern the intricate details of the entryway. The walls are not just walls. They are canvases, adorned with vibrant frescoes depicting scenes of heroic deeds, mythological figures, or perhaps lush landscapes. The floor beneath your feet is not merely stone, it's a mosaic, painstakingly crafted from countless tiny tesserae, forming geometric patterns, or even detailed scenes of sea creatures or gladiatorial combat. You can almost feel the smooth, cool texture of the marble beneath your sandals, each step echoing slightly in the vast space. It's not just functional, it's art designed to impress, to elevate the mundane act of washing into something sublime. Take a moment, just standing there, letting the sheer grandeur wash over you. This isn't simply a building, it's a statement about Roman engineering prowess, their artistic sensibilities, and their profound appreciation for comfort and leisure. They didn't just build things, they crafted experiences. You might even chuckle softly to yourself, imagining trying to convince your local city council to invest in something quite this opulent for public use today. But think of the maintenance costs, they'd cry. The Romans, it seems, simply built for eternity, or at least for a very, very long time. Moving deeper into the complex, you follow the flow of people. The corridors are wide, allowing for easy movement and surprisingly clean. You notice smaller alcoves along the way, some with benches, others perhaps with water fountains. It's a labyrinthine masterpiece designed for comfort and flow. You might even spot a small shrine dedicated to some minor deity of health or springs, a gentle reminder of the spiritual aspect interwoven with daily life. The Romans, ever practical, always had a spot for the gods, even in their bathhouses. You pass by what appear to be small shops or stalls embedded within the structure, perhaps selling perfumed oils, fine linens, or even light refreshments. It's an entire ecosystem contained within these walls. You can almost hear the soft bartering, the clink of coins, the polite murmur of transactions. This isn't just about getting clean. It's about spending your day conducting business, catching up on gossip, and simply being in a vibrant social setting. One quirky tidbit about these magnificent structures is that some Roman bathhouses were so extensive they even included dedicated areas for outdoor games, like the pila, a type of handball, or wrestling, within their sprawling grounds. Imagine finishing your hot bath, getting a massage, and then heading out for a quick game of ball before dinner. It really puts your gym membership to shame, doesn't it? As you continue your gentle perambulation, you might notice the sophisticated heating system that made all this possible. Underneath the mosaic floors, hidden from view, lies a network of brick pillars, creating an empty space. The hot air, channeled from massive furnaces, would circulate through this space, heating the floors and walls of the bathing rooms above. Smoke flues, often disguised within the walls, would then carry the spent air away. It was an ingenious system, a marvel of ancient engineering that allowed them to create precisely controlled environments, from mildly warm to incredibly hot and steamy. It's the kind of technology that makes you wonder how long it took them to perfect it, and how many chilly Roman toes were sacrificed in the process. You finally reach a point where the flow of people naturally guides you towards a large, open chamber. This, you intuit, is your first true destination. The Apodyterium, the changing room. It's not a stark, sterile space like a modern locker room. It's a grand hall often adorned with mosaics and frescoes, and lined with niches or small open cubbies along the walls. This is where the transformation begins, where the dust of the outside world is shed, and you prepare yourself for the deeper immersion to come. The air here is a little cooler than the corridors, perhaps a faint echo of the outside world. A last breath of reality before you dive headfirst into the warmth and languor of the baths. You step into the Apodyterium, the changing room, and the initial impression is one of organized chaos, a vibrant symphony of human activity. The chamber is vast, with high ceilings that seem to swallow the sounds, yet the space still hums with a gentle energy. Light, perhaps filtered through translucent alabaster panes or high windows, bathes the room in a soft, diffused glow, making the polished marble benches and the intricate floor mosaics gleam. This isn't a hasty dash to get dressed. It's part of the ritual, a slow, deliberate shedding of the outside world. Along the walls, at varying heights, you see a multitude of small, open niches, like cubbyholes carved into the stone. These are not secured lockers with combination locks or digital keypads. No, the concept of individual, lockable storage, as we know it, is far off in the future. Here, you are expected to place your clothing and personal effects within one of these open recesses. It's an exercise in trust, or perhaps, in the ancient world, a recognition of the presence of enslaved attendants whose job it was to keep an eye on patrons' belongings. Historians still argue whether petty theft was a significant problem in the public baths, but it's likely that having an attendant watch over your tunic was a common, if not universal, practice. You might even see a few individuals, particularly those of higher status, arriving with their own enslaved retinue who would diligently guard their master's possessions. You find an empty niche, perhaps one that feels just right, neither too high nor too low. With a sigh, you begin to shed your outer garments. The fabric of your tunic or toga, having gathered the dust of the Roman streets, falls away, revealing a simpler, perhaps lighter, undergarment, or, for some, nothing at all. The air in the Apodyterium feels slightly cooler than the external corridors, a deliberate design choice, allowing your body to begin its subtle acclimatization before the increasing warmth of the next chambers. There's a certain vulnerability in this act, a shedding of social facades along with the clothing. Everyone, from the senator to the freedman, undergoes this same transformation. As you undress, you observe the ballet of others around you. Some move with practiced ease, their movements fluid and unhurried. Others, perhaps first-timers, or those less accustomed to public nudity, might appear a touch more self-conscious, quickly folding their clothes and stashing them away. Modesty, as we understand it today, was a very different concept in ancient Rome, especially within the communal environment of the baths. Nakedness was a natural state here, devoid of the same connotations it might carry in other cultures or eras. It was simply the practical way to prepare for the cleansing rituals. You might even spot a group of friends chatting animatedly as they undress, their voices echoing softly off the high ceilings, completely at ease in their shared space. You notice enslaved bath attendants moving silently through the room, their bare feet whispering across the mosaic floor. They might be collecting discarded outer garments, preparing fresh towels, or simply observing, ready to assist patrons with whatever they might need. Some carry small bronze vessels, perhaps filled with fine olive oil or scented unguents, anticipating the later stages of the bathing ritual. Their presence is ubiquitous, yet often understated, a constant, efficient hum in the background of Roman daily life. It's a reminder of the complex social hierarchy that underpinned even these most public of spaces. Once you've neatly folded your clothes and placed them in your chosen niche, perhaps with a small personal token to help you remember its location. A practice probably more common than you'd think. Given the sheer number of identical-looking cubbies, you might pause. This is a moment of transition. You are now unburdened by the weight of your daily attire, ready to embrace the warmth that awaits. You feel a lightness, a sense of shedding not just dust, but also the worries and stresses of the outside world. A gentle joke might form in your mind, contemplating the ancient Roman version of forgetting where you parked your car. Oh, Jupiter's beard, was it niche 7 or 8? All these togas look the same after a hot bath. You can almost hear the exasperated sigh of an enslaved attendant patiently pointing the way as you prepare to move on. You notice the details of the Apodyterium itself. The walls, as in the entrance, are probably adorned with vivid frescoes. These might depict scenes of athletic prowess in the Palaestra, or perhaps playful images of putty, cherubic figures frolicking with sponges and strigils. The intention is clear: to set the mood, to prepare your mind for the healthy activities that lie ahead. The mosaics on the floor are not merely decorative. They are often functional, designed to be easily cleaned and to provide a non-slip surface, even when damp. You can almost feel the coolness of the polished stone beneath your bare feet, a pleasant contrast to the warmth that will soon envelop you. This communal stripping down wasn't just about practicality. It had a social function too. It leveled the playing field, at least physically, while status distinctions would quickly reappear through the quality of one's oils or the number of one's attendants. In that initial moment of undress, everyone was simply a body, preparing for a shared experience. It was a place for informal greetings, for observing acquaintances, and for a subtle display of one's physical condition, a topic of some importance in a culture that valued athleticism. Mainstream historical fact: the Apodyterium served as the primary changing room in Roman bathhouses, where bathers would store their clothes in cubbies or niches. It was typically the first room encountered after entering the complex. You might hear a splash in the distance, a faint echo from one of the other chambers, a tantalizing hint of the watery delights to come. The air, though still relatively cool, here carries a subtle undercurrent of humidity, a promise of the rising temperatures you are about to encounter. There's no rush, no pressure. The pace within the baths is inherently slow, designed for lingering, for immersion. You move not with urgency, but with a growing sense of anticipation, following the gentle flow of other bathers, all heading in the same direction, towards the warmth. The Tepidarium would have been a carefully orchestrated experience in many of the grander bathhouses. It wasn't just about the shift in temperature. It was about preparing the body gradually, preventing shock, and allowing the muscles to begin their slow relaxation. The Roman architects and engineers, with their remarkable understanding of hydrodynamics and thermal principles, understood the importance of this measured progression. A quirky or fringe tidbit. It's believed that some bathhouses even had small lost and found areas, or at least designated attendants for items accidentally left behind in the Apodyterium. Imagine a Roman version of a lost sock bin, but filled with stray tunicae and perhaps a rogue fibula brooch. As you stand, now completely unburdened, you notice the subtle shift in the air pressure, the faint scent of heated stone and slightly humid air growing stronger. The light ahead seems to grow warmer, casting a golden glow through an archway that invites you further in. You take a deep breath, the air filling your lungs with that distinct, soothing bathhouse aroma. Your bare feet, cool on the mosaic, are ready for the warmth that awaits. The murmurs around you are softer now, less the bustle of arrival, and more the gentle anticipation of relaxation. You are no longer merely a spectator. You are a participant, an integral part of this timeless Roman ritual. Your journey into the heart of the Thermae has truly begun. You simply turn and step through the archway towards the inviting, gentle warmth. You step through the archway, leaving the cool, bustling Apodyterium behind, and immediately a wave of gentle warmth washes over you. This is the Tepidarium, the warm room, and its name is a perfect description. A comforting embrace, like stepping into a perfectly heated greenhouse on a slightly overcast day. The air is still, almost languid, carrying a subtle humidity that instantly begins to soften your skin and relax your muscles. This is the liminal space, the bridge between the cooler outer world and the intense heat yet to come. The Tepidarium is often a grand, spacious chamber, even more ornately decorated than the Apodyterium. The light here might be softer, perhaps, filtering through stained glass windows or high clerestories. Imagine shafts of golden light illuminating motes of dust dancing in the humid air, creating a serene, almost dreamlike atmosphere. Along the perimeter, you see elegant marble benches, inviting you to recline, some lying stretched out, eyes closed, others engaged in hushed conversations, their voices barely rising above a whisper. The general ambience is one of quiet contemplation and gradual preparation. You find an empty spot on one of the benches, the smooth, warm marble, a pleasant sensation against your skin. As you settle down, perhaps stretching out your limbs, you can feel your muscles begin to unwind. The warmth seeps into you, coaxing away any lingering tension from your journey to the baths. Heat, it's about preparing your mind to the slow increase in temperature, the gentle humidity. All contribute to a feeling of deep relaxation, a sense that time itself is slowing down. You might even find yourself stifling a soft yawn, the kind that only comes when your body truly starts to let go. The air is fragrant here, a subtle blend of heated stone, clean water, and perhaps the faint, lingering scent of various perfumed oils from those who have passed through before you. It's a sensory experience designed to soothe and calm. You might see a few individuals gently massaging their limbs, or simply sitting in quiet repose, allowing the warmth to work its magic. There's no rush, no urgency. The Tepidarium is a place for lingering, for easing into the bathing ritual at your own pace. Historians still argue whether the Tepidarium was primarily for a conversation and preparation for the main bathing. It likely functioned as both, offering a less intense environment for interaction than the bustling Apodyterium, but still allowing for social engagement. You might observe groups of friends sharing quiet jokes, or perhaps a philosopher holding court, his voice soft but clear, discussing some weighty topic with rapt listeners. It's a place where the lines between physical preparation and social interaction blur gracefully. You might notice an attendant moving slowly through the room, perhaps offering small cups of cool water or carrying a tray of perfumed oils for those who wish to anoint themselves even at this early stage. These oils, often derived from olives and infused with a variety of botanical extracts like rose, jasmine, or frankincense, were an integral part of the Roman bathing experience. They weren't just for scent. They were believed to nourish the skin and enhance the cleansing process. You might even recall that peculiar anecdote about crocodile dung sunscreen and be incredibly grateful that the oil offerings here are far more aromatic and less biologically adventurous. The engineering behind the Tepidarium's consistent, gentle warmth is a marvel in itself. Hidden beneath the floor, as you might recall, is the hypocaust system. But here, the flow of hot air might be less intense, or the space between the floor and the suspensura, the raised floor tiles, might be greater, allowing for a more diffused heat. The walls, too, are likely hollow, with flues carrying warm air, radiating a gentle warmth throughout the chamber. It's a testament to Roman ingenuity, creating an environment of precise thermal control without the aid of modern thermostats or complex climate control systems. You might hear the rhythmic dripping of water from a small fountain in the corner, a gentle, hypnotic sound that further enhances the tranquility. The acoustics of these grand chambers are often superb, designed to allow sound to carry, yet also to prevent harsh echoes. It's a deliberate crafting of the sensory experience, where every detail contributes to the overall feeling of peace. A quirky tidbit that might amuse you. Some tepidaria, especially in larger, more elaborate bathhouses, were known to have small, shallow pools of slightly warmed water, almost like foot baths. Imagine a Roman version of a fancy foot spa, a little extra luxury before the main event. As you lie there, feeling the warmth penetrate your body, you begin to truly understand the Roman approach to wellness. It wasn't about quick fixes or intense, high-impact activities. It was about slow, deliberate self-care, a holistic approach that integrated physical cleansing with mental relaxation and social interaction. This was their escape from the stresses of urban life, their daily reset button. It makes your modern attempts at unwinding, perhaps endlessly scrolling through social media or binge-watching a show, seem almost frantic by comparison. The Romans mastered the art of doing nothing beautifully. You watch as others move through the room. Some are simply passing through, their brief pause enough for them. Others settle in for a longer stay, perhaps engaging in light conversation. Their voices, a soft murmur that blends seamlessly into the ambient sounds of the room. This space serves as a gentle transition, a buffer zone that allows your body to adjust incrementally to the rising temperatures, preventing the shock of moving directly from cool to intensely hot. Society that understood the nuances of physical comfort and well-being. Your eyelids might feel heavy, a pleasant drowsiness creeping in. The air is still, yet it feels alive, filled with the promise of deeper warmth and profound relaxation. You are shedding the last vestiges of any tension, allowing your body and mind to surrender to the luxurious languor of the baths. The outside world, with its demands and distractions, seems miles away, a faint echo from another life. Here, in the Tepidarium, there is only the present moment, the soothing warmth, and the quiet anticipation of what lies ahead. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the warm, humid air expand in your lungs. The gentle thrum of the bathhouse, the subtle sounds of water and hushed voices, seems to envelop you, creating a cocoon of tranquility. You are now fully immersed, not just in the environment, but in the mindset. The truly hot chambers feels less like a challenge and more like a natural progression, an inviting next stage in this ancient ritual of self-care. With a soft sigh of contentment, you slowly push yourself up from the warm marble bench, feeling utterly relaxed and ready for the next level of warmth. You drift towards the next archway, where the air promises to be even hotter, thicker with steam, a true embrace of intense heat. You glide from the gentle warmth of the Tepidarium into the next chamber, and the change is immediate and profound. A thick, almost palpable wave of intense heat envelops you, along with a dense, visible humidity that makes the air shimmer. This is the Caldarium, the hot room, and it lives up to its name with a vengeance. The sensation is like stepping into a cloud, a warm, wet blanket that wraps itself around every inch of your skin. Your pores immediately open, and a fine sheen of perspiration breaks out across your forehead. The Caldarium is often the grandest and most impressive of the bathing chambers, designed to awe and immerse. The ceilings are typically high, perhaps domed, and the walls gleam with polished marble, often in rich, dark hues that seem to absorb and amplify the heat. Steam rises from various sources, perhaps a large, shallow pool of hot water, or basins known as labra, filled with constantly replenished hot water. The air is so humid that distant figures might appear as soft blurs, their outlines softened by the pervasive mist. The sounds here are different too. The gentle murmurs of the Tepidarium are replaced by the soft drip of condensation itself. You find yourself drawn towards the central pool, the alveus, its surface shimmering with heat. The water itself is incredibly warm, almost hot to the touch, and inviting. You might tentatively dip a toe in, or perhaps plunge straight in, allowing the heated water to embrace your entire body. The sensation is one of deep, penetrating warmth, reaching into your very bones. Any lingering stiffness or chill from the outside world is utterly eradicated here, replaced by a profound sense of relaxation. You might find yourself simply floating or leaning against the warm, smooth edge of the pool, eyes closed, letting the heat work its magic. This intense heat is not just about comfort. It's a crucial part of the Roman cleansing ritual. The warmth causes your body to perspire profusely, opening your pores and encouraging the expulsion of impurities from your skin breathing, releasing everything it no longer needs. You'll notice other bathers in various states of repose or activity. Some are immersed in the alveus, their faces flushed, their expressions serene. Others might be seated on the marble benches that line the room, simply enduring the heat, perhaps with their heads bowed in contemplation. Still others are engaged in the more active parts of the cleansing, either scrubbing themselves or being attended to by enslaved bath attendants. Mainstream historical fact: the Caldarium was the hottest room in the Roman bathhouse, featuring a hot water pool, the alveus or piscina callida, and often basins of hot water labra, designed to induce profuse sweating and cleanse the body. The air is thick with the scent of steam, but also, surprisingly, a faint, almost metallic tang, mingling with the earthy smell of hot stone, and perhaps a hint of the various oils and perfumes being used. It's an immersive sensory experience, one that fully occupies your awareness, pushing out any stray thoughts of responsibilities or deadlines. Soft chuckle might escape you as you ponder the ancient Roman equivalent of a sauna selfie. Just chillin' in the Caldarium, feeling hot, might delete later. Though, thankfully, no one here has a smartphone to capture your incredibly relaxed, slightly sweaty moment of bliss. You might observe a curious practice unfolding in the corner of the room. Some bathers are gently splashing themselves with water from smaller basins, or even pouring a continuous stream of hot water over their bodies. This serves to both rinse off sweat and enhance the feeling of cleanliness. Enslaved attendants move through the space, offering assistance, perhaps gently pouring water over a bather's shoulders or refilling a labrum. Their movements are graceful, efficient, and almost silent, a testament to their training and constant presence. Historians still argue whether the labra, those large basins of hot water, were primarily for splashing, or if they sometimes served as smaller, individual soaking tubs within the main hot room. It's likely their use varied, but their consistent presence highlights the Roman emphasis on accessible hot water for every stage of the cleansing. The hypocaust system working beneath this room is truly earning its keep now. The floor beneath your feet, even outside the hot pool, radiates warmth, a comforting heat that penetrates your soles through vents in the roof. This ingenious system ensured an even pervasive heat throughout the entire chamber. Imagine the sheer amount of wood needed to fuel the furnaces that kept these massive rooms at such high temperatures, day in and day out. Might even notice the small, almost imperceptible currents of air that carry the steam from one part of the room to another. It's a living, breathing environment, constantly in motion, yet deeply tranquil. A quirky or fringe tidbit: it's said that some wealthier Romans would even bring their own personal strigils, those curved metal scrapers we'll talk about, soon made of precious metals like silver or gold, sometimes even adorned with intricate carvings, to the Caldarium. As you continue to soak in the heat, your muscles feel completely relaxed, almost liquid. Your mind, too, seems too quiet, focusing solely on the sensory input. The world outside, with its noise and demands, feels incredibly distant, almost irrelevant. This is a sanctuary, a place where the physical self is paramount, and every sensation contributes to a feeling of profound well-being. The rhythmic splashing of water, the low hum of voices, the pervasive warmth, it all blends into a comforting lullaby for your senses. You might notice the soft glow of oil lamps. The Romans understood that lighting, even within a steamy environment, contributed to the overall atmosphere. It wasn't just about functionality. It was about creating a mood, an experience. The act of sweating profusely here is not just about cleanliness, it's also a physiological reset. It helps to regulate body temperature, increase circulation, and prepare the skin for the next stages of the bathing ritual. It's a natural way to flush toxins, leaving you feeling lighter, cleaner, and utterly invigorated, paradoxically. In the hot room, using the steam and sweat to loosen impurities before a more thorough scraping later. It's a testament to the thoroughness of their cleansing process, a multi-stage approach to achieving true bodily purity. As you reluctantly begin to consider moving on, you feel a renewed energy, a sense of lightness that wasn't there before. The heat has penetrated deeply, warming your core and softening every muscle. You are thoroughly relaxed, yet also strangely invigorated. The transition from intense heat to cold water, which is the next stage, will be a stark contrast, a deliberate shock to the system designed to further stimulate circulation and tone the skin. But for now, you linger a moment longer in the embrace of the Caldarium, savoring the last few seconds of its intense, comforting heat, feeling completely cleansed and utterly at peace. With a final, slow breath, you push yourself out of the hot pool, feeling the warm, wet air cling to your skin, ready for the bracing shock that awaits. You move with a renewed sense of purpose, anticipating the invigorating plunge that will truly awaken your senses after this blissful, steamy interlude. From the pervasive, embracing heat of the Caldarium, you now venture towards a dramatically different sensation. You move through a threshold, and the air around you immediately chills, sending a shiver dancing across your still warm skin. This is the Frigidarium, the cold room, and the contrast to the previous chambers couldn't be starker. It's a deliberate, invigorating shock designed to close your pores, stimulate circulation, and awaken your senses after the languid warmth. The Frigidarium is often a spacious, brightly lit chamber, in stark contrast to the steamy, atmospheric Caldarium. The walls might be adorned with cool, refreshing colors, blues, greens, and whites, or perhaps feature frescoes depicting scenes of serene landscapes or mythological figures associated with water and tranquility. The most prominent feature, however, is the Piscina Frigida, the large, deep, cold plunge pool that dominates the room. Its water, often fed by a natural spring or a fresh aqueduct supply, gleams with an almost crystalline clarity, reflecting the light from above. You approach the edge of the pool, your breath catching slightly in your throat. The air above the water seems to hum with a crisp, refreshing coolness. You can see other bathers already in the water, some gasping with the initial shock, others swimming with powerful, invigorating strokes. A few might be simply submerged, their faces red, their expressions a mix of grim determination and undeniable exhilaration. This isn't just a quick dip, it's a profound physiological reset, a jolt to the system that invigorates every fiber of your being. Mainstream historical fact: the Frigidarium was the cold room of the Roman bathhouse, featuring a large, cold water plunge pool, Piscina Frigida, used to close the pores, tone the skin, and invigorate the body after the hot baths. You might hesitate for a moment, the natural human aversion to cold water battling with the anticipation of the invigorating sensation. But the Roman ritual demands it, and you've come this far. With a deep breath, you take the plunge. The initial shock is undeniable, a sharp, bracing cold that instantly raises goosebumps across your skin. It's a full-body jolt, a sudden tightening of pores and a rush of blood to your core. Your internal monologue might scream, "Are you mad?" for a fleeting second before the sheer invigoration takes over. But then, as your body adjusts, a remarkable feeling washes over you. The cold isn't just cold. It's crisp, clean, and utterly refreshing. The slight burning sensation quickly fades, replaced by a tingling awareness in every part of your body. Your heart rate quickens, your breathing becomes deeper, and you feel an incredible surge of energy. It's like hitting a physiological reset button, flushing out the last vestiges of sleepiness or lethargy from the hot baths. You might even find yourself letting out a spontaneous oof or a quiet, satisfied sigh as the initial shock subsides. You paddle gently, or perhaps simply float for a moment, allowing your body to fully acclimate to the temperature. The water feels incredibly clean against your skin, and you emerge from it feeling utterly refreshed, revitalized, and surprisingly warm from within. It's a paradoxical sensation, but a truly exhilarating one. The contrast between the intense heat of the Caldarium and the bracing cold of the Frigidarium was considered essential for health and well-being in Roman belief, promoting good circulation and firming the flesh. A quirky or fringe tidbit: some larger Frigidaria were even designed with small cascades or waterfalls, allowing bathers to stand directly under the falling cold water for an even more intense and stimulating experience. Imagine the ancient Roman equivalent of a cold plunge shower. As you emerge from the cold pool, perhaps shaking off a few droplets, you notice the renewed clarity of your mind. The previous languor has dissipated, replaced by a sharp alertness. Your skin feels taut and invigorated, your muscles toned. You might rub your arms, feeling the lingering coolness, before reaching for a coarse linen towel, perhaps provided by an attentive, enslaved attendant, to dry yourself off. The towel feels rough, but strangely satisfying against your tingling skin, and the act of drying quickly brings back a comforting warmth. Historians still argue whether the length of time spent in the Frigidarium was prescribed, or if it was entirely up to individual preference. It's likely that while some embraced long, vigorous swims, others preferred a quick, bracing dip to maximize the shock and invigorating effects before moving on. The beauty of the Roman bath ritual was its flexibility, allowing patrons to tailor the experience to their own needs and desires. You might observe a variety of approaches to the cold plunge. Some individuals sprint in, shrieking with laughter, while others descend slowly, grimacing with each step. It's a communal experience, and the shared reaction to the cold often sparks a sense of camaraderie among the bathers. You might even catch an amused glance from a fellow bather, a silent acknowledgement of the shared, invigorating ordeal. The architectural design of the Frigidarium also often served a practical purpose beyond aesthetics. Its cool air and reflective surfaces helped to regulate the temperature of the entire bath complex, providing a necessary counterpoint to the heat generated by the hypocaust system. Think of it as the ancient Roman air conditioning system, not just a place for a cold swim. After drying off, you might feel an urge to move, a newfound energy coursing through your veins. The lethargy of the hot room is completely gone, replaced by a readiness for further activity. This is where the Palaestra, the exercise ground, often comes into play, a natural progression from the invigoration of the cold plunge. Your body feels clean, refreshed, and primed for movement. A gentle thought might cross your mind. Well, that certainly woke me up better than any triple espresso ever could. The ancient Romans certainly knew a thing or two about stimulating the senses. You might wander to the edges of the Frigidarium, perhaps stepping onto a heated bench to gently warm up a little further, allowing your body to fully stabilize its temperature. The sense of freshness is profound. The aroma here is different from the hot rooms, less steamy, more crisp, perhaps with a faint hint of chlorine if the water supply contained natural mineral traces. The very concept of alternating hot and cold treatments for health is not new. It's a practice that dates back millennia and is still employed in various forms of hydrotherapy today. The Romans, through their bathhouses, perfected this cycle, creating a therapeutic experience that cleansed the body and stimulated the mind. It's a powerful testament to their intuitive understanding of physical well-being. As you stand, thoroughly invigorated, you might take a moment to admire the details of the Frigidarium once more. The crisp light, the cool colors, the shimmering water, it all contributes to an atmosphere of clarity and rejuvenation. This is where the last traces of the day's grime and mental clutter are washed away, leaving you feeling utterly renewed, ready for the next phase of your Roman bath experience. The journey through the heat and into the bracing cold has prepared you, not just for physical cleansing, but for the social and recreational activities that often followed, embodying the Roman ideal of a healthy mind in a healthy body. You feel lighter, more alert, and genuinely ready to engage with the world. Though for now, your world is still contained within these magnificent walls. You cast a final glance at the still, inviting pool, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and invigoration, and prepare to move towards the sounds of activity that beckon from beyond the cold room, ready for what comes next. Having emerged from the invigorating chill of the Frigidarium, your senses are now heightened, your body tingling with renewed energy. You feel thoroughly cleansed, both inside and out, and a natural instinct to move takes over. This is precisely why the next area of the bathhouse complex, the Palaestra, was so vital. You find yourself drawn towards a large, open courtyard, often surrounded by colonnades, where the sounds of activity grunts, shouts, the thud of bodies, the rhythmic slap of feet become distinctly audible. The Palaestra is essentially the Roman gymnasium, an outdoor exercise ground where citizens engaged in various physical activities before or after their bathing cycle. It's a stark contrast to the quiet, introspective atmosphere of the inner bathing chambers. Here, the air is alive with energy. Sunlight, now directly overhead, illuminates a scene of vibrant athleticism. The ground beneath your feet might be packed earth, fine sand, or even gravel, designed to provide good traction for wrestlers and runners. You see a diverse array of activities unfolding simultaneously. In one corner, a group of young men, their bodies gleaming with sweat and oil, are locked in wrestling holds, their muscles straining, their grunts echoing softly. Near them, others are engaged in pila, a form of handball, expertly tossing and catching balls of various sizes, their movements fluid and precise. You might even spot individuals engaged in weightlifting, using crude but effective stone or lead weights to build strength. The atmosphere is competitive but largely good-natured, filled with the camaraderie of shared physical exertion. Mainstream historical fact. The Palaestra was the exercise ground or gymnasium associated with Roman bathhouses, where patrons would engage in various athletic activities such as wrestling, running, and ball games, often before entering the main bathing cycle. You might choose to simply observe, standing at the edge of the colonnade, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, enjoying the spectacle, or feeling the surge of energy from your cold plunge. You might feel a sudden urge to participate. Perhaps you pick up a discarded ball and toss it experimentally, or find an empty space to stretch and loosen your limbs. The beauty of the Palaestra is its accessibility. No formal team sports or strict rules, just an open invitation to move and exert yourself. The ground might be slightly uneven in places, worn smooth by centuries of bare feet and athletic endeavors. You can almost feel the history underfoot, the echoes of countless training sessions and friendly contests. The air carries the distinct scent of human exertion, sweat, dust, and perhaps a faint, musky odor from the wrestling area. Mingling with the fresh air, a soft smile plays on your lips as you imagine a modern-day equivalent. Welcome to the Roman CrossFit box. Today's WOD, wrestling a moderately annoyed gladiator, and then running a quick sprint in your bare feet. Thankfully, your gladiatorial opponents today are just other bathers, probably more interested in bragging rights than actual combat. Enslaved attendants are present here too, though their role is different. They might be retrieving errant balls, offering water to thirsty athletes, or even acting as sparring partners for those practicing their wrestling moves. Their movements are swift and purposeful, a testament to the continuous activity of the Palaestra. Historians still argue whether the Palaestra was used more for serious athletic training or primarily for light exercise and social display. It's likely both, with dedicated athletes honing their skills alongside citizens simply looking to work up a moderate sweat before their bath. The emphasis was as much on the social interaction and demonstration of physical prowess as it was on rigorous training. You might notice the various body types among the athletes. Some are lean and agile, perfect for ball games or running. Others are powerfully built, their muscles well defined from wrestling and lifting. It's a natural showcase of the Roman ideal of mens sana in corpore sano, a healthy mind in a healthy body. Physical fitness was valued not just for soldiers, but for all citizens. A quirky or fringe tidbit: it's believed that some Palaestras had specific areas designated for shadowboxing or practicing martial arts forms, allowing individuals to hone their combat skills without needing a partner. Imagine a Roman taking a private moment to practice their punches and kicks, perhaps channeling their inner Hercules. The colonnades surrounding the Palaestra often housed small, open-air classrooms or lecture areas where philosophers or rhetoricians might hold forth. This blending of physical exertion with intellectual discourse was a hallmark of Roman culture. You could literally work out your body, then walk a few steps and work out your mind, all within the same complex. Imagine the discussions that unfolded. Hear sweat-soaked debates on ethics or politics, a truly holistic approach to self-improvement. You might hear a particularly loud cheer as someone wins a wrestling match, or a collective groan as a ball goes astray. The sounds are boisterous, but not jarring, part of the vibrant tapestry of the bathhouse experience. The energy is infectious, making you feel more awake and alive than you have all day. The ground beneath your bare feet feels surprisingly comforting, perhaps slightly warmed by the sun. You might try a few gentle stretches, feeling your muscles lengthen and relax after the cold plunge. The fresh air, a stark contrast to the humid air of the inner rooms, fills your lungs, making you feel completely refreshed. The exercises here weren't just about strength. They were also about agility and coordination. Ball games, in particular, required quick reflexes and good teamwork. It was a way to maintain physical prowess, to stay sharp, and to socialize in an active way. This wasn't just a place for individual workouts. It was a community space for shared activity. You might even consider trying a brief run around the perimeter of the Palaestra, feeling the rhythm of your own breath, the gentle thud of your feet on the ground. The feeling of your body moving freely, unencumbered by restrictive clothing, is liberating. It's a fundamental human joy, rediscovered in this ancient setting, as the sun continues its gentle arc across the sky, casting longer shadows across the courtyard. The intensity of the activities might begin to mellow slightly. Some individuals will start to drift towards the unction rooms, anticipating the next stage of their cleansing ritual, the application of oils and the use of the strigil. Others might head towards a cooling drink or simply sit on a bench, catching their breath and watching the remaining athletes. Your own energy, while still high, begins to settle into a comfortable hum. You feel pleasantly tired, the kind of good fatigue that comes from healthy exertion. The crisp air of the Palaestra has cleared your head, and the physical activity has made your muscles feel pleasantly weary. You are now truly ready for the more passive, yet equally vital, stages of the Roman bath experience. The transition from active exertion to passive cleansing, from the open air to the enclosed rooms, is seamless, part of the carefully choreographed flow of the bathhouse. You turn, leaving the shouts and thuds of the Palaestra behind, ready for the next ritual of purification and luxury. The journey continues, ever deeper into the heart of Roman wellness. Having worked up a satisfying sweat in the Palaestra, or perhaps simply having enjoyed the invigorating atmosphere from the sidelines, your journey now naturally leads you to the next essential phase of the Roman bathing ritual, the unctions and scrapes. You move from the open air, perhaps through a cool corridor, into a smaller, more intimate chamber known as the descriptorium, or sometimes a specialized area within the Tepidarium. The air here is warmer than outside, but not as humid as the Caldarium, carrying a rich, earthy scent of olive oil and various perfumes. This is where the true physical cleansing takes place, distinct from the simple rinsing in the hot or cold pools. You observe others, some lying on benches, some standing, as enslaved attendants move with practiced grace, preparing for and performing the ritual. Each attendant holds a small, curved implement, the strigil, typically made of bronze, iron, or even silver for the wealthier patrons. This is not a loofah or a bar of soap. Oh no, this is something far more efficient, and perhaps, initially, a touch intimidating. First, the anointing. An attendant approaches you, carrying a small, beautifully crafted bronze or ceramic flask. From this, they pour a generous amount of pure olive oil into their palm. This isn't the olive oil you drizzle on your salad, though it's likely of a high quality. It might be plain, or subtly infused with fragrant herbs and flowers, rose, lavender, jasmine, or even more exotic resins from the far reaches of the Roman Empire. The attendant then proceeds to gently yet thoroughly massage the oil over your entire body. The sensation is incredibly soothing, the oil warming as it makes contact with your skin, spreading a thin, glistening layer over every limb, your torso, your back. It feels luxurious, almost decadent, preparing your skin for the next stage, mainstream. Historical fact: the strigil was a curved metal implement used in ancient Roman baths to scrape off sweat, dirt, and oil from the body after bathing and exercise, often preceded by the application of olive oil. As the oil is massaged in, you feel your muscles further relax, the gentle friction stimulating circulation. The scent of the oil, subtle but pervasive, creates an aromatic cloud around you. This pre-treatment with oil served multiple purposes. It helped to loosen dirt and dead skin, made the subsequent scraping more comfortable, and provided a protective, moisturizing layer for the skin. It's their version of a pre-cleanse and moisturizer all in one. Long before those terms existed in skincare routines, then comes the main event, the scraping. The attendant picks up the strigil. It's a surprisingly ergonomic tool designed to fit comfortably in the hand. Its curved blade, perfectly shaped to glide along the contours of the human body. With a firm yet gentle motion, the attendant begins to draw the strigil along your skin. You feel a satisfying, almost therapeutic drag as the oil, sweat, dirt, and dead skin cells are efficiently scraped away, collecting in a small, satisfying roll on the concave side of the blade. It's oddly gratifying, like peeling off a sticker. But for your entire body, the sound is a soft, rhythmic schlick-slick as the strigil passes over your skin. It's not painful. In fact, it's quite pleasant, a unique sensation of deep cleansing. The attendant is skilled, knowing just the right pressure, the right angle, to remove the impurities without causing discomfort. You watch as small rivulets of dark, oily residue are collected, a visual testament to the effectiveness of the process. This isn't just about getting clean, it's about getting pristine, a quirky or fringe tidbit. It was common for wealthy Romans to collect the gourmet scrapings from their own bodies, mixed with their expensive perfumed oils, and then bottle and sell them as a kind of ancient Roman luxury, cosmetic, or even medicine. Yes, you heard that right. Your own body's gunk, but make it chic. Perhaps a strange precursor to modern high-end, bespoke skincare, but certainly not what you'd expect to find on a department store shelf today. Historians still argue whether the strigil was always used by an attendant, or if many Romans, particularly the lower classes, performed the scraping themselves. It's highly probable that both occurred, with attendants offering a more thorough and luxurious experience for those who could afford it, while others managed their own cleansing. You might even chuckle softly to yourself, contemplating how this would go down in a modern spa. Welcome to our ancient Roman detox package. First, a generous slathering of oil, followed by a vigorous scraping with a curved metal blade. Don't worry, it's very authentic. The mental image is amusing, a testament to how much our concepts of hygiene and luxury have evolved, or perhaps simply changed. The process continues systematically over your entire body, from your shoulders to your arms, your chest, your legs, and even your back, if the attendant is particularly skilled or if you shift to accommodate them. You can feel the skin beneath the scraped areas becoming incredibly smooth, almost polished. It's a deep exfoliation, far more effective than any modern scrub you might have used after the primary scraping. The attendant might use a softer cloth or sponge to gently wipe away any remaining oil or residue, leaving your skin feeling remarkably clean, soft, and supple. The final rinse often occurred back in the Tepidarium or even the Frigidarium, simply a quick dip to wash off the last traces of oil and water, leaving you completely refreshed. The enslaved attendants who performed this task were not just strong, they were skilled and knowledgeable. They understood anatomy, the nuances of the body, and the proper techniques for both oiling and scraping. Their movements were graceful, almost balletic, a fluid dance of service and efficiency. Their quiet dedication underscored the luxuriousness of the experience for the patron. The very act of being scraped by another person, while initially perhaps a strange concept, quickly becomes another layer of the deep relaxation offered by the baths. It's a moment of surrender, of allowing someone else to care for your physical well-being. This communal, yet deeply personal, ritual of cleansing forged a unique bond within the Bathhouse. You might notice the subtle shine on your skin, a healthy glow that comes from being thoroughly cleansed and moisturized. The air around you, now that the oil and dirt have been removed, feels lighter, cleaner. You feel incredibly fresh, as though you've shed not just dirt, but also a layer of accumulated fatigue. The sensation of having your skin so completely and deeply cleansed is unparalleled. It's not just about feeling clean, it's about feeling light, renewed, and revitalized. This meticulous attention to skincare was a fundamental part of Roman health and beauty practices. They understood that a healthy exterior contributed to overall well-being. As the attendant finishes, perhaps offering a final gentle wipe, you feel truly purified. The entire process, from the application of oil to the final scrape, has been a soothing, almost meditative experience. You stand, feeling incredibly soft and smooth, ready for the next phase of indulgence. The lingering scent of the perfumed oil is a pleasant reminder of the deep cleansing you've just undergone. You're ready for more, ready to continue this blissful journey through the heart of Roman leisure and self-care. The world outside the baths, with its dust and demands, seems even further away now. You feel utterly pampered, utterly clean, and completely at ease. With your skin gleaming and smooth from the unction and scraping, a profound sense of lightness and rejuvenation settles over you. But the Roman bath experience is far from over. It extends beyond mere physical cleansing to encompass a holistic approach to self-care, including aesthetic refinement. You find yourself drifting towards areas dedicated to hairdressing and grooming, often adjacent to the main bathing chambers or tucked away in quieter alcoves. The air here is no longer thick with steam, nor heavy with the scent of plain olive oil, but carries the delicate fragrance of specialized unguents, finely ground powders, and perhaps a faint, sweet aroma of burning incense. You observe the scene. Before you, a testament to the meticulous attention Romans paid to their appearance. Men and women alike are engaged in various forms of grooming. For men, this might involve a close shave, a task often performed by a tonsure or barber, who would use sharp bronze razors and specialized creams or oils to achieve a smooth finish. You might see a man leaning back, eyes closed, as a barber expertly maneuvers the blade, perhaps preceded by a warm compress to soften the stubble. The rhythmic snip-snip of shears might be heard as men get their hair trimmed or styled, often kept relatively short and neat. Mainstream historical fact: Roman bathhouses often included dedicated areas for hairdressing, shaving, and various forms of personal grooming performed by skilled barbers, tonsors, and cosmeticians, cosmeta, for women. The grooming rituals were often far more elaborate and time-consuming. You might see women seated on elegant chairs, their hair being intricately styled by enslaved ornatresses, hairdressers. These skilled individuals would use a variety of tools: hot curling irons, calamystra, to create tight ringlets or soft waves, pins and nets to fashion elaborate updos, and perhaps even false hairpieces or extensions to add volume or length. The air might be filled with the subtle scent of perfumed hair oils and pomades, designed to hold styles in place and add luster. You might even catch the scent of singed hair, a fleeting aroma as a hot iron curls a stubborn strand. It's a vivid reminder that beauty, even in ancient Rome, sometimes required a degree of discomfort. A soft, gentle chuckle escapes you as you imagine the Roman version of a bad hair day. My calamistrum wasn't hot enough, and now my curls are simply ... Tragic, the horror. Beyond hair, other aspects of grooming are also taking place. Some individuals might be having their eyebrows plucked or shaped with small tweezers. Others might be applying pulvis, a form of face powder, or perhaps even a light touch of rouge to their cheeks. The emphasis was on a refined, polished appearance, a subtle enhancement rather than a dramatic transformation. This was about presenting oneself as a citizen of good standing, well cared for and respectable. Historians still argue whether the most elaborate hairstyles seen on Roman busts were worn daily or reserved for special occasions. It's likely that while some intricate styles were indeed for public display, simpler, yet still elegant, coiffures were more common for everyday visits to the baths. Enslaved cosmeticians, cosmeta, were highly trained and valued for their expertise. In preparing and applying various beauty treatments, they would mix pigments for blush, concoct soothing lotions for the skin, and prepare aromatic oils for hair. Their knowledge of botanical extracts and minerals was extensive, passed down through generations. Their quiet efficiency and skill were paramount to the patron's experience of luxury. A quirky or fringe tidbit: Roman women sometimes used finely crushed charcoal or antimony to darken their eyelids and eyelashes, creating an ancient form of eyeliner and mascara. Imagine carefully applying burnt wood to your eyes, all in the name of beauty. It certainly puts modern liquid eyeliner in perspective. The sounds in this area are hushed. The soft click of combs, the delicate rustle of fabric, the occasional whisper between a patron and their attendant. It's an intimate space, yet still public, where personal care is performed openly. A communal preparation for returning to the social world, even if just within the bathhouse complex. You might feel a sense of camaraderie with those around you, all partaking in this timeless ritual of self-presentation. You might notice small portable mirrors made of polished bronze or silver, reflecting the subtle glow of oil lamps or the filtered daylight. These mirrors, though not as clear as modern glass, were perfectly adequate for observing the meticulous work of the hairdressers and cosmeticians. The air is filled with a medley of delightful scents, the floral notes of rosewater, the fresh zest of citrus from a hair rinse, or the warm, spicy aroma of frankincense from a rich hair oil. These perfumes were not just for fragrance. They were often believed to have therapeutic properties, soothing the scalp or calming the mind. This stage of grooming was crucial for the Romans, as appearances held significant social weight. A well-groomed individual demonstrated not only personal discipline but also status and taste. Even after the vigorous cleansing of the baths, attention to hair and skin was paramount before engaging in further social activities. You might see individuals having their nails cleaned and perhaps lightly polished, though not with the vibrant lacquers of today. The focus was on neatness and cleanliness, a well-maintained appearance from head to toe. Every detail mattered in Roman society. The process of grooming was often accompanied by quiet conversation. Patrons might discuss the latest gossip, political news, or personal anecdotes with their attendants, transforming a functional task into a social interaction. These attendants, often enslaved, became privy to many private thoughts and observations, acting as informal as your own. Hair is gently brushed or styled, or perhaps your skin given a final, subtle dusting of powder. You feel the transformation come full circle, from the dust of the street to the intense heat and cold of the baths, and now to this meticulous refinement. You emerge not just clean, but polished, ready to face whatever social engagements might arise within the bathhouse walls. The light here is soft, perhaps illuminating the details of a finely woven tunic or the intricate folds of a toga that a few patrons might be donning after their final grooming touches, preparing to depart or simply linger in the more relaxed areas of the baths. The sensation is one of complete contentment, a feeling of being utterly cared for and perfected. You take a moment, running a hand over your now smooth skin, perhaps touching your neatly styled hair. The feeling of being so impeccably prepared, of having undergone such a comprehensive ritual of self-care, is deeply satisfying. You are not just clean, you are refined, ready to present your best self to the world, or at least to the microcosm of Roman society that thrives within these walls. The meticulousness of the process underscores the Roman appreciation for beauty and presentation as integral parts of their daily lives. You feel ready for the next phase of luxurious relaxation and intellectual engagement, your body now a temple of well-being. With your body feeling immaculately clean and your appearance meticulously groomed, a profound sense of ease settles over you. The physical exertion of the Palaestra and the invigorating extremes of the hot and cold rooms have given way to a deep, pervasive relaxation. This is precisely the moment when the Roman bath experience transitions fully into pure indulgence. The massages. You drift towards a quieter, more subdued section of the baths, often a series of smaller, more private chambers or curtained-off alcoves, where the ambient sounds are hushed and the light is softer, perhaps filtered through thick curtains or diffused through strategically placed lamps. The air here is thick with the rich, warm scent of various oils, not just plain olive oil, but a myriad of infused concoctions, fragrant with roses, calming with lavender, invigorating with rosemary, or exotic with myrrh and frankincense. You see individuals reclining on low padded benches or purpose-built massage tables, their eyes closed, their bodies utterly yielding to the skilled hands of the masseurs. Mainstream historical fact: massage was an integral part of the Roman bathing ritual, performed by skilled masseurs aliptae using various oils to promote relaxation, muscle recovery, and overall well-being. After the hot baths and exercise, you find yourself guided to an empty bench, covered, perhaps, with a soft linen cloth. You lie down. A sense of profound relief washes over you. An enslaved ellipse masseur approaches, their hands soft but strong, already warmed from previous sessions. They select a small flask of oil, perhaps one you chose for its scent, or one they deem appropriate for your needs. The first touch is gentle, a liberal application of the warm, fragrant oil spread evenly over your skin. This is not a quick rub. It's a deliberate anointing, preparing your muscles for the deeper work to come. The masseur begins their work, their hands moving with practiced, rhythmic precision. They might start with your legs, applying long, sweeping strokes, kneading away any lingering tension from the day's activities, or even the subtle soreness from your earlier time in the Palaestra. The pressure is firm, yet never painful, always adapted to your comfort. You feel your muscles, already relaxed by the heat of the Caldarium, become even more pliable under their touch. It's a hypnotic rhythm, the constant pressure, the warmth of the oil, the silent expertise of the masseur. You close your eyes, surrendering completely to the sensation. The world outside the immediate touch of the masseur's hands seems to fade away. You might even drift into a light, semi-conscious state, hovering on the edge of sleep. A gentle, internal chuckle might surface as you think, this is the ancient Roman equivalent of a spa day, but without the pan-flute music and the exorbitant price tag. Well, unless you count the cost of maintaining an empire. The masseur moves from your legs to your back, then your shoulders, and finally your arms and neck. Each stroke is purposeful, designed to release knots, improve circulation, and promote a profound sense of well-being. They might use various techniques: effleurage, long gliding strokes, petrissage, kneading and squeezing, or even gentle tapotement, rhythmic tapping to stimulate circulation. This wasn't just a luxury, a way to prevent stiffness and soothe weary muscles. Historians still argue whether specific types of massage, like those focused on athletic recovery versus general relaxation, were formally categorized and taught in Roman society. It's likely that while the aliptae certainly understood how to treat different needs, the general term massage encompassed a wide range of techniques adapted by their skill. The air around you, warm and still, seems to amplify the effect of the oils. You might notice the subtle scent of your own skin, now mingling with the fragrance of the oils, creating a unique personal aroma. It's an intimate experience, yet perfectly natural within the context of the baths. A quirky or fringe tidbit: some aliptae were so renowned for their skill that wealthy patrons would specifically request them, and their services would command high fees, almost like celebrity massage therapists of the ancient world. Imagine booking an appointment months in advance for a session with Marcus, the Magnificent Hand. The silence, broken only by the soft sounds of the massage itself and perhaps the distant murmur of voices, is a luxury in itself. In the bustling Roman city, moments of quiet contemplation and physical stillness were rare and highly prized. The bathhouse provided this sanctuary, and the massage deepened that sense of retreat. You might feel a stretch of a muscle you didn't even realize was tense, followed by a blissful release. The masseur's fingers work deftly, finding and alleviating areas of stiffness. This isn't just about feeling good. It's about the therapeutic benefits, promoting flexibility and easing discomfort. The Romans understood the importance of physical manipulation for overall health long before modern sports medicine. As the massage draws to a close, the strokes become softer, more soothing, a gentle tapering of the intense work. The masseur might use a dry cloth or a fresh, soft towel to gently wipe away any excess oil, leaving your skin feeling supple, moisturized, and utterly comfortable, not greasy. You feel lighter, as if a great weight has been lifted from your body. The lingering warmth from the hot baths, combined with the deep relaxation of the massage, creates a profound state of languor. You feel completely at peace, your mind clear, your body utterly content. This is the culmination of the physical aspect of the bathing ritual, leaving you in a state of blissful repose, ready for the more intellectual or social pursuits the baths also offered. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling your chest expand with ease. The muscles around your spine feel fluid, your shoulders loose. There's a gentle buzz throughout your body, a residual energy from the deep tissue work. Getting up might feel like a minor effort, as if your limbs have become delightfully heavy with relaxation. Feeling refreshed and incredibly limber, you notice how effortlessly your body moves. The previous tension has dissolved, replaced by a profound sense of ease. You feel like a new person, thoroughly rejuvenated and ready for whatever comes next. Whether it's further socializing, a quiet moment of reading, or simply continuing your serene journey through the vast amenities of the Roman bathhouse. The lingering scent of the perfumed oil is a comforting reminder of the deep luxury you've just experienced. Your senses are attuned, your body is relaxed, and your mind is clear. With your body thoroughly cleansed, massaged, and feeling utterly sublime, the Roman bath experience shifts gears once more, revealing another fascinating dimension of these remarkable complexes. You now find yourself drawn away from the direct bathing and grooming areas towards quieter, more intellectually stimulating spaces. This is where the bathhouse transcends mere hygiene and physical wellness, transforming into a true hub of culture and knowledge. The libraries and lecture halls, the ambient sounds here are noticeably different. The distant splashes and murmurs of the bathers are muffled, replaced by the soft rustle of papyrus, the low tones of scholarly discourse, and the gentle scratch of stylus on wax tablet. You enter a series of interconnected rooms, often laid out around a central courtyard or garden, designed for quiet contemplation and intellectual pursuit. The light here is often more natural, perhaps streaming in through large, unglazed windows that invite a gentle breeze, or through carefully placed skylights. The air is dry and warm, carrying the distinct, slightly musty, yet inviting scent of ancient books, papyrus rolls stored in wooden cabinets, perhaps a hint of cedar from their construction, and the faint, sweet aroma of stored knowledge, mainstream. Historical fact: many large Roman bath complexes, such as the baths of Caracalla and Diocletian, included dedicated libraries, bibliothecae, and lecture halls, serving as centers for intellectual activity, study, and philosophical discussions. You find yourself in a spacious hall lined with tall, elegant wooden cabinets, each with multiple pigeonholes. These are not shelves as we know them, but rather compartments designed to hold papyrus scrolls, rolled neatly and often with a small title tag protruding from the end. This is the Bathhouse Library, a testament to the Roman appreciation for literacy and learning. You can almost feel the weight of centuries of thought and literature contained within these rolls: histories, poems, philosophical treatises, legal texts, scientific observations, and even comedies. You might approach one of the cabinets, perhaps gently tracing the worn edge of a wooden frame. Imagine the satisfaction of pulling out a scroll, unrolling it carefully across a reading table or your lap, and immersing yourself in the words of Livy, Virgil, or Seneca. The silence here is profound, broken only by the occasional cough, the turn of a page, or rather the unfurling of a scroll, or a quiet murmur of conversation between scholars. It's a place of focused intellectual energy, a stark contrast to the lively social buzz of the other bath areas. Historians still argue whether these bathhouse libraries were truly comprehensive collections, or if they focused more on popular or practical texts accessible to a wide range of citizens. It's likely they contained a mix, designed to both entertain and inform the diverse patrons of the baths, adjacent to the library. Or perhaps in a separate wing, you discover what appear to be lecture halls, auditoria. These rooms are typically arranged with rows of stone or wooden benches facing a raised podium or a speaker's platform. You might see a small group gathered, listening intently to a philosopher expounding on Stoicism, a rhetorician practicing a speech, or a poet reciting new verses. The acoustics in these spaces are remarkably good, designed to carry the speaker's voice clearly to every corner of the room. Without the need for amplification, you might slip into an empty seat at the back, allowing the cadence of the speaker's voice to wash over you. Even if you don't understand every word, the atmosphere of focused learning is palpable. This was where ideas were exchanged, debates were ignited, and knowledge was disseminated. It transformed the bathhouse from a mere place of physical purification into a temple of both body and mind. A quirky or fringe tidbit: some bathhouse libraries had specific attendants whose job it was not only to organize and preserve the scrolls, but also to gently unroll them for patrons and even read aloud to those who preferred to listen rather than read themselves. Imagine having a personal audiobook service included with your bath entry. The concept of combining a spa with a library might seem unusual by modern standards, but for the Romans, it was entirely logical. The pursuit of otium, a cultivated leisure, involved both physical and mental well-being. After cleansing and invigorating the body, it was natural to turn to the nourishment of the mind. It was a holistic approach to a fulfilling life, where relaxation wasn't passive idleness, but an active engagement with culture and intellect. You might notice small groups of individuals engaged in quiet, intense discussion, perhaps leaning over a rolled-out scroll, debating a point of philosophy or law. The air is thick with the silent hum of intellectual activity, a counterpoint to the more overt sounds of the rest of the bathhouse. It's a place for deep thought, for scholarly pursuits, and for simply escaping the everyday world through the power of words. The furnishings here are simple but elegant, sturdy wooden tables, comfortable benches, and perhaps a few busts of famous authors or philosophers, silently presiding over the intellectual pursuits. Light is crucial, and you'll find strategically placed oil lamps, even during the day, to ensure ample illumination for reading. You might even indulge in a small internal joke. This is far more stimulating than scrolling through social media. Though, I suppose ancient Roman Twitter would just be graffiti on the bathhouse walls. And indeed, some bathhouse walls were covered in graffiti, a kind of ancient public forum for quick thoughts. The inclusion of libraries within bath complexes also speaks to the Roman valuing of public access to knowledge. While not every citizen was fully literate, the mere presence of these resources, often free or for a minimal fee, provided an opportunity for learning and self-improvement that was unprecedented in many other ancient societies. As you sit there, observing, a profound sense of peace settles over you. The physical rejuvenation from the baths, combined with the quiet stimulation of the intellectual environment, creates a unique state of equilibrium. Your mind feels sharp, yet calm, ready to absorb new ideas or simply to reflect. You might spend some time browse the titles of the scrolls, recognizing some names, perhaps wondering about others. The sheer volume of written material available speaks volumes about the Roman thirst for knowledge and their impressive literary output. It's a reminder of how much was produced, consumed, and tragically lost over the centuries. The attendance in the library would be different from the bath attendants, quiet, learned individuals, perhaps enslaved scholars themselves, whose task was to care for the precious scrolls, reshelve them, and assist patrons in finding the texts they sought. Their presence underscores the value placed on these literary treasures, as the sun begins its slow descent, casting long, golden shadows. Through the windows, the atmosphere in the library might become even more serene. It's a perfect place to unwind after the physical activities, to gently transition from bodily indulgence to mental enrichment. The quiet murmur of scholarly discussion becomes a soothing backdrop, an intellectual lullaby. You feel refreshed, not just physically, but mentally. The Roman bathhouse, you realize, is truly a microcosm of Roman society itself, a place where body, mind, and social interaction are all catered for with remarkable foresight and grandeur. The library and lecture halls are not just an afterthought. They are an integral part of the holistic experience, a vital component of true Roman leisure. You reluctantly stir from your quiet contemplation, feeling enriched and profoundly at peace, ready to explore the more convivial aspects of Roman bathhouse life. Having nourished your mind in the serene quiet of the library and lecture halls, your senses are now primed for a different kind of engagement. The Roman bathhouse, ever the multifaceted hub, wasn't solely about physical cleansing and intellectual pursuit. It was also a vibrant social arena, a place where the day could truly unfold. You find yourself drawn towards areas where the atmosphere hums with cheerful chatter, the clink of glassware, and the enticing aromas of prepared food. This is where the practicalities of Roman life met the pleasures of leisure, the dining and socializing areas. These spaces were often located near the more public areas of the baths, perhaps open-air courtyards, partially shaded by awnings, or large, airy rooms with comfortable seating. The light here is bright and inviting, reflecting off polished surfaces. The air is filled with a lively cacophony of sounds, laughter, animated conversations, the soft scrape of sandals, and the gentle sounds of food preparation and serving. You see groups of Romans, both men and women, gathered around low tables, some reclining on elegant couches, triclinia, others seated on benches. They are enjoying light meals, snacks, and various beverages. This isn't a formal banquet hall, but rather a more casual dining environment, perfect for lingering and conversation. The food on offer would vary depending on the bathhouse's scale and the clientele it served. You might spot platters of fresh fruit grapes, figs, apple spiles of warm bread, small bowls of olives, cheese, and perhaps some roasted nuts or dried meats. For beverages, water is, of course, omnipresent, often served cool and refreshing. But you might also see diluted wine, a common Roman drink, or even a sweet fruit juice. Mainstream historical fact: Roman bathhouses frequently incorporated facilities for dining and socializing, ranging from simple snack bars to more elaborate dining rooms where patrons could enjoy meals and drinks, often served by attendants. The aromas are delightful and varied. The yeasty smell of freshly baked bread mingles with the briny scent of olives, the sweetness of fruit, and the earthy aroma of wine. It's a symphony of culinary simplicity, designed to refresh and sustain bathers after their rigorous or relaxing routines. You might feel a gentle rumbling in your stomach, a natural response to the inviting sense after your earlier activities. You might observe a senator, still damp from the baths, reclining on a couch, casually discussing politics with a merchant over a bowl of grapes, or a group of women, their hair freshly styled, sharing gossip and laughter over cups of diluted wine. This informal mingling of different social strata, all engaging in the shared pleasure of food and company, underscores the democratic nature of the public baths. Even with their inherent hierarchies, historians still argue whether bathhouse dining was predominantly a communal experience where patrons brought their own food, or if dedicated vendors and kitchens within the baths were more common. It's likely both models existed, with some bathhouses offering full catering services and others simply providing space for patrons to picnic. You find a comfortable spot, perhaps on a bench, overlooking a small decorative fountain, and an attendant quickly appears, ready to take your order or present you with a selection of available refreshments. The ease and efficiency of the service are remarkable, designed to enhance the sense of leisurely enjoyment. A soft chuckle might escape you as you imagine the Roman version of a Yelp review. The Caldarium was divine, but the olives in the dining area were a bit past their prime. 2 stars for the fruit, 5 for the massage. The conversations around you ebb and flow, creating a pleasant background hum. You might catch snippets of discussions about the latest gladiatorial games, rumors from the forum, news from distant provinces, or simply light-hearted banter. The bathhouse was a prime location for the exchange of information and the strengthening of social bonds. It was the ancient Roman equivalent of a community center, cafe, and networking event all rolled into one. A quirky or fringe tidbit, some larger bathhouses even had small dedicated rooms or nooks where patrons could play board games like Ludus. L'atroncularum, a strategy game similar to chess or checkers, while enjoying their refreshments, further blending entertainment with dining. Imagine munching on figs while plotting your strategic moves on a game board. The dining areas often featured decorative elements like frescoes depicting food, drink, and convivial scenes, or mosaics illustrating bountiful harvests. These artistic touches reinforced the atmosphere of abundance and pleasure. Even the simple act of eating was elevated to an aesthetic experience within these grand structures. You might notice the casual elegance of the table settings, simple ceramic bowls and cups, perhaps a few silver spoons for the wealthier patrons, but always clean and functional. The emphasis was on fresh, wholesome food, enjoyed in good company. The social aspect of bathhouse dining was incredibly important. It was a place to see and be seen, to solidify friendships, to make new acquaintances, and even to conduct informal business. A casual meal could evolve into a serious discussion, or simply remain a delightful interlude of pleasant chatter. The sense of time here is fluid. There's no rush to finish your meal or vacate your spot. Patrons linger, enjoying the company, the food, and the sheer pleasure of otium. It's a stark contrast to the fast-paced, demanding rhythm of Roman urban life outside the bathhouse walls. The attendants are attentive but discreet, refilling drinks, clearing away dishes, and ensuring everyone's comfort. Their efficiency allows patrons to fully immerse themselves in their conversations and relaxation. As you enjoy your simple yet satisfying meal, you feel a profound sense of contentment. The various stages of the bathhouse ritual have brought you to this point of complete physical and mental ease. The combination of cleansing, exercise, intellectual stimulation, and now convivial dining creates a truly holistic experience. The gentle background hum of conversation and the clinking of dishes become a soothing backdrop. You might lean back, savoring the taste of a sweet fig, feeling utterly relaxed and at peace. This is the Roman way of life distilled, finding pleasure in simple things, fostering community, and embracing leisure as a vital component of well-being. You notice the shifting quality of the light as the day progresses, transforming the ambience of the dining area from bright and lively to a softer, more intimate glow as evening approaches. Some patrons might begin to depart, while others settle in for a longer stay, perhaps transitioning to other forms of entertainment within the complex. This communal dining experience reinforces the idea that the Roman bathhouse was more than just a place to wash. It was a cultural institution, a social melting pot, and a sanctuary where citizens could escape the rigors of daily life and fully engage with their community in a relaxed, informal setting. You feel truly immersed in this ancient world, partaking in a tradition that spanned centuries, a tradition of refined leisure and social connection. The subtle flavors, the soft sounds, the easy camaraderie, it all weaves together into a deeply satisfying moment of Roman life. You feel thoroughly refreshed inside and out, and ready to explore yet another facet of these remarkable establishments. As the gentle hum of conversation and the lingering scent of food begin to mellow in the dining areas, your journey through the Roman bathhouse continues to reveal its multifaceted nature. Beyond physical cleansing, intellectual pursuits, and social dining, these complexes also served as vibrant centers of entertainment and recreation, offering a diverse array of diversions. You find yourself drawn towards areas where the atmosphere shifts from convivial chatter to excited murmurs, punctuated by the clatter of small objects and the occasional murmur of focused intensity. This is where the Romans indulged in gambling and various forms of informal entertainment. You step into a section that might be a large open hall or a series of interconnected rooms, perhaps with smaller, more private nooks. The light here could vary. Some areas might be brightly lit to facilitate games of skill, while others might be more dimly illuminated, fostering an air of secretive concentration. The air is tinged with the scent of human presence, perhaps a faint aroma of old wine or even the metallic Thames of coins, mingling with the general bathhouse scent. Mainstream historical fact: Roman bathhouses often contained areas dedicated to gambling and various forms of popular entertainment, including board games, dice games, and even theatrical performances or athletic demonstrations in associated spaces. You observe a multitude of activities unfolding. In one corner, a group of men is huddled around a low table, their faces intent. Their hands move swiftly, manipulating small, carved pieces on a board marked with intricate lines and squares. This is likely ludus latrunculorum, a strategy board, game akin to chess or checkers, requiring considerable tactical skill. The clack of game pieces, the soft exclamations of triumph or frustration fill the air. It's a game that could span hours, absorbing players in its intellectual challenge. Nearby, another group is engaged in a more raucous activity: dice games. Here, the sounds are sharper, the rattle of dice in a cup, the distinct thwack as they hit the table, followed by excited shouts or resigned groans. Roman dice, often made of bone, ivory, or even polished stone, were typically six-sided, much like modern dice, though sometimes they had variations in numbering. Gambling with dice, while sometimes frowned upon by moralists, was a pervasive pastime across all social classes, especially in public spaces like the baths, where leisure time was abundant. Historians still argue whether the gambling within the baths was officially sanctioned or merely tolerated, and to what extent it was regulated by authorities. It's likely that while overt high-stakes gambling might have been discouraged, smaller informal wagers were commonplace and simply part of the social fabric. You might hear a particularly loud cry of delight as someone wins a substantial sum, or a rueful sigh from a player who has just lost their luck. The emotions are raw and immediate, a stark contrast to the quiet contemplation of the library. It's a reminder that even in a place of relaxation, the thrill of competition and the allure of chance held a powerful sway over the Roman psyche. A soft, knowing smile might cross your face as you realize. So, even in ancient Rome, you could get a massage, read a book, and then lose all your coin at the craps table. Some things truly never change. It's a comforting thought, in its own way, that human nature remains remarkably consistent across millennia. Beyond the formal games, you might also witness other forms of informal entertainment. Perhaps a musician, a tibason flutist, or a cithara player, softly serenading a small group, their melodies weaving through the ambient noise. Or a storyteller, captivating a small audience with tales of gods and heroes. Or perhaps the latest scandalous gossip from the city. These were organic, spontaneous moments of entertainment that contributed to the vibrant, dynamic atmosphere of the baths. A quirky or fringe tidbit, it's believed that some Roman bathhouses even had small designated game masters or attendants, who would oversee dice games, resolve disputes, and sometimes even provide betting tips for a fee, of course. Imagine a Roman version of a pit boss, ensuring fair play, or at least controlled chaos. The air in these entertainment zones can feel thicker, charged with a different kind of energy, anticipation, excitement, sometimes a touch of frustration. It's a microcosm of Roman society, reflecting its passions and its peccadillos. The low murmurs of strategy games blend with the sharper exclamations from the dice tables, creating a lively, engaging soundscape. You might walk past a group playing Terni Lapili, a simple tic-tac-toe-like game, or Duodecim Scripta, a race game similar to backgammon. These games, easily understood and played with minimal equipment, were popular ways to pass the time and engage in friendly competition. The surfaces for these games could be carved into permanent tables or simply drawn onto portable boards. Enslaved individuals would circulate through these areas, serving refreshments, clearing away empty dishes, or perhaps even acting as bookkeepers for larger wagers. Their discreet presence facilitated the smooth flow of entertainment, allowing patrons to fully immerse themselves in their games. Historians still debate the specific social conventions around gambling in the baths. While it was widely practiced, excessive gambling was often seen as a vice. However, in the relaxed atmosphere of the baths, such moralistic strictures often loosened, allowing for more open indulgence. The lighting in these areas would be crucial, even in daytime. Strategically placed oil lamps or open braziers might provide additional illumination for card or board games, ensuring players could clearly see the stakes. The flickering light would cast dancing shadows, adding to the dramatic tension of the games. You might feel a pull to join a game, even a simple one, or just to stand and observe the intricate strategies unfolding before you. The human element, the shared experience of hope and disappointment, is universal and timeless. It's a reminder that even thousands of years ago, people sought similar forms of escapism and thrill. The atmosphere is often boisterous, but generally good-natured. Arguments might flare up briefly over a disputed dice roll, but they are usually quickly resolved, perhaps with the intervention of an attendant. The overall mood is one of relaxed enjoyment, a continuation of the leisure time afforded by the baths. As the day gradually shifts towards evening, the gambling and entertainment areas might become even more lively, drawing in patrons who have completed their bathing rituals and are looking for a final social flourish before heading home. The energy is infectious, making you feel part of a timeless tradition of human recreation. The Romans, with their keen understanding of human nature, knew that relaxation wasn't always about quiet contemplation. Sometimes it was about engaging the mind in a different way through games of chance and skill, or simply enjoying the spectacle of others' entertainment. The bathhouse provided this outlet, ensuring that every desire, from the need for physical cleansing to the craving for mental stimulation and social engagement, was met within its walls. You find yourself lingering, fascinated by the intensity of a dice game or the quiet, strategic brilliance of a board game unfolding. The sounds and sights create a vivid tableau of Roman leisure, a testament to their comprehensive approach to public amenities. This was truly a place for everything, a vibrant microcosm of urban life. As the last rolls of the dice settle, and the players count their gains or lament their losses, you prepare to move on, realizing that even the most fleeting moments of entertainment in these baths were meticulously catered for, making them truly unforgettable. Having explored the vibrant social tapestry of the Roman bathhouse, from its physical cleansing rituals to its intellectual and recreational diversions, you cannot help but notice an omnipresent, yet often understated, element woven into every facet of the experience: the pervasive role of enslaved individuals. Their presence, though sometimes quietly background, was absolutely fundamental to the operation, comfort, and luxury of these grand complexes. The very seamlessness of your own experience within these walls is, in large part, a testament to their tireless labor. As you move through the various chambers, the Apodyterium, the Tepidarium, the Caldarium, the Frigidarium, the Palaestra, the unction rooms, the hairdressing alcoves, the massage areas, the libraries, and the dining halls, you observe them everywhere. They are the silent engines that powered this vast enterprise, the unseen hands that ensured every comfort and convenience for the free citizens of Rome. Their movements are often fluid, efficient, almost invisible, a testament to their training and the sheer volume of work they performed. Mainstream historical fact: enslaved people constituted a significant portion of the workforce in Roman bathhouses, performing a wide range of tasks from menial labor, stoking furnaces, carrying water, to specialized services, massaging, anointing, hairdressing. You might notice an enslaved attendant in the Apodyterium, diligently watching over the niches where clothes are stored, ensuring the belongings of patrons are secure. Or perhaps they are collecting discarded garments, preparing them for laundering. Their posture is attentive, their gaze watchful, ensuring nothing disturbs the orderly flow of the changing room. They might offer a clean towel with a respectful bow, their presence a constant, quiet support system in the heated rooms. The Caldarium and Tepidarium, enslaved individuals, are crucial for maintaining the atmosphere. You might see them quietly stoking the furnaces of the hypocaust system, a hot, arduous task performed in dimly lit, underground passages. Imagine the relentless heat, the smoke, the constant shoveling of wood, all to ensure the comfortable warmth above. Others are responsible for continually refilling the labra with fresh hot water, a never-ending task requiring physical strength and endurance. Their bare feet, hardened by constant movement, glide over the warm floors, carrying heavy buckets, or manipulating complex systems of pipes and valves. Historians still argue whether enslaved bathhouse workers received any form of specialized training beyond on-the-job apprenticeship, particularly for skilled roles like aliptae masseurs or ornatresses hairdressers. It's probable that such specialized skills were indeed taught and highly valued, leading to a degree of prestige even within their enslaved status. The Palaestra, too, relies heavily on enslaved labor. They are retrieving balls, offering water to thirsty athletes, clearing away stray equipment, or even acting as sparring partners, enduring the physical demands to allow citizens to hone their skills. Their physical fitness, though rarely acknowledged, was often exceptional, honed by constant exertion during the unction and scraping rituals. The enslaved aliptae, masseurs, and capsari, those who looked after clothing and belongings, but also sometimes applied oils, are central. Their hands apply the soothing oils, their strong, skilled movements wield the strigil with precision, removing sweat and grime. This intimate, hands-on service, vital for the patron's cleansing and comfort, speaks to a complete lack of personal autonomy for the enslaved individual. Imagine the sheer volume of bodies they would attend to throughout a single day, the repetitive nature of the tasks, yet performed with practiced efficiency. A soft, melancholic thought might stir within you. While I'm enjoying this luxurious, relaxing experience, someone else's entire existence is dedicated to making it possible, often without choice or reward, beyond survival. It's a sobering reminder of the underlying social structures of the Roman world, where leisure, for some, was directly predicated on the forced labor of others. In the hairdressing and grooming sections, enslaved ornatresses meticulously style hair, apply cosmetics, and perform shaves. Their fingers are deft, their attention to detail precise. They might hold mirrors, prepare perfumes, or clean grooming tools. Their artistic skill was considerable, yet they were not artists in the Roman sense, merely tools of their owners' desires. Even in the intellectually elevated spaces of the libraries and lecture halls, enslaved individuals are present. They might be scribes, carefully copying texts onto new papyrus rolls, or librarians, organizing and retrieving scrolls for patrons. Some might even be educated scholars themselves, valued for their intellect, but still bound by the chains of servitude. They are the keepers of the knowledge, yet rarely its authors in a recognized capacity. A quirky or fringe tidbit, there were instances where enslaved bathhouse workers, particularly those in skilled positions like aliptae, could earn enough peculium, a small allowance or accumulated savings, to eventually purchase their freedom. While rare, it offered a sliver of hope within the harsh reality of their lives. In the dining and entertainment areas, enslaved attendants serve food and drink, clear tables, and cater to every whim of the patrons. They ensure a steady supply of refreshments for gamblers, clean up spilled wine, and generally maintain the convivial atmosphere. Their constant, discreet presence ensures that patrons want for nothing. You might see them moving quickly and quietly, their faces impassive as they navigate the busy rooms, fulfilling requests without a word. The sheer scale of the Roman bathhouses meant that a vast number of enslaved people were required for their daily operation. From the menial tasks of cleaning and maintenance, scrubbing floors, emptying waste, sweeping, to the more specialized and skilled roles, their labor was indispensable. They were the unseen backbone of this public amenity, their efforts allowing the free citizenry to indulge in leisure and well-being. Historians still debate the daily lives and conditions of enslaved bathhouse workers. While some may have had better conditions due to their specialized skills or the value of their labor, the fundamental lack of freedom and vulnerability to their owner's whims remained a constant dot. As you reflect on your experience, you realize that every towel, every drop of warm water, every comforting massage, every cleaned utensil, every maintained fire, every smooth floor, every organized scroll, and every served refreshment was the result of someone else's forced labor. The luxury and convenience you experienced were built upon a system of human bondage. It's a stark contrast to the effortless relaxation you felt, a reminder of the complex and often morally challenging realities of the ancient world. Their lives were not ones of leisure, but of constant, demanding work. Yet, they were also integral to the social fabric of Rome, silent witnesses to the daily lives of citizens, privy to their conversations, their triumphs, and their moments of vulnerability in the intimate spaces of the baths. Their contributions, though often uncredited, were immense and indelible, ensuring the smooth functioning of one of Rome's most enduring and cherished institutions. You carry this awareness with you as you prepare to transition to the grand architectural scale of these marvels. The beauty and engineering prowess you're about to appreciate are not just the result of brilliant Roman minds, but also the relentless toil of countless enslaved hands, whose sweat and strength quite literally built and maintained these colossal structures. Having absorbed the pervasive human element that kept the Roman bathhouse humming, from the skilled masseurs to the diligent furnace stokers, your attention now shifts to the structures themselves. You lift your gaze, truly taking in the colossal scale and intricate design of the complex around you. These are not just functional buildings, they are architectural marvels, testaments to Roman ingenuity, engineering prowess, and their profound appreciation for grandeur and public spectacle. You feel a sense of awe, standing amidst centuries of meticulous planning and construction. You move through vast halls, beneath soaring ceilings, and gaze upon massive domes that seem to defy gravity. The sheer volume of space is breathtaking. Imagine rooms so immense that they could easily encompass modern Olympic-sized swimming pools, with space left over for lounging areas and intricate statuary. The walls are not merely walls, but canvases of polished marble, often imported from distant quarries across the empire. Gleaming whites from Carrara, rich greens from Thessaly, deep reds from Egypt. The floors are a symphony of mosaic, countless tiny tesserae forming intricate patterns, mythological scenes, or even playful depictions of sea creatures that seem to undulate with the light. Mainstream historical fact: Roman bathhouses, particularly the Imperial Baths like those of Caracalla and Diocletian, were monumental architectural achievements characterized by their immense scale, innovative use of concrete, sophisticated heating systems, hypocausts, and lavish decoration. You might notice the clever use of natural light. High windows, sometimes fitted with translucent alabaster or thin sheets of mica, allow diffused light to flood the interiors, creating an ethereal glow in the steamy rooms. Oculi, large, circular openings in the center of domes, like that in the Pantheon, allowed direct shafts of sunlight to penetrate, moving across the floors and walls throughout the day, marking the passage of time. This wasn't just illumination, it was a deliberate artistic choice, designed to create a sense of majesty and connection with the heavens. The engineering behind these structures is, frankly, astounding. Recall the hypocaust system, the network of brick pillars beneath the floors and within the walls that channeled hot air from external furnaces. This system, while hidden, was the ingenious heart of the baths, allowing for precisely controlled temperatures across multiple chambers. It required an immense understanding of airflow, heat retention, and construction to ensure its long-term functionality. You might even hear a faint, almost imperceptible hum, a ghost of the hot air currents that once flowed beneath your very feet. Historians still argue whether the primary motivation for such colossal bath complexes was purely public welfare and hygiene, or if it was equally, if not more, about imperial propaganda and demonstrating the wealth and power of the emperors who commissioned them. It was likely a blend of both, serving practical needs while simultaneously projecting an image of unrivaled might and generosity. Think about the sheer amount of materials required. Thousands upon thousands of tons of marble, concrete, bricks, lead for pipes, and timber for scaffolding and roof trusses. And the logistics of transporting these materials across vast distances, often by sea and then up rivers, speaks to an organizational capacity that rivals modern logistics operations. Imagine the colossal effort involved, not just in design, but in procurement. Impressed whisper might escape you. They built this with manual labor and rudimentary tools. We complain about flat-pack furniture. It's almost embarrassing, isn't it? The use of concrete was revolutionary. Roman concrete, incredibly durable and versatile, allowed architects to create vast, unsupported spaces and complex curved forms, vaults, arches, and domes that would have been impossible with traditional stone masonry alone. This material innovation freed them from the structural limitations of their predecessors, enabling them to build on a truly grand scale, creating spaces that still inspire all millennia later. A quirky or fringe tidbit, the Romans sometimes incorporated tiny, almost invisible lead pipes within the walls of certain rooms that would carry cool water, acting as a primitive form of air conditioning, or simply to keep the wall surfaces from becoming too hot for comfort. It was a subtle touch, demonstrating their obsession with micromanaging the bathing experience. You walk through an immense vaulted hall, perhaps imagining the echoes of thousands of voices that once filled this space. The engineering of these vaults, distributing immense weight evenly across broad spans, speaks to a sophisticated understanding of structural mechanics. They weren't just building, they were innovating, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with the materials at hand. The water systems are equally impressive. Aqueducts, often stretching for miles across the landscape, brought fresh water from distant springs and rivers directly into the baths. Within the complex, a sophisticated network of lead pipes, cisterns, and drainage systems ensured a constant supply of fresh water and efficient removal of wastewater. This was an engineering feat that far surpassed the capabilities of many civilizations for centuries after Rome's decline. You might notice the remnants of intricate drainage channels designed to carry away wastewater from the pools and fountains, ensuring hygiene and preventing stagnation. Even the functional aspects of these buildings were conceived with an eye towards efficiency and sophisticated design. The decorative elements are not mere afterthoughts. They are integral to the architecture. Statues of gods, heroes, emperors, and athletes would have filled niches and courtyards, transforming the baths into open-air museums. Intricate frescoes on the upper walls, now often faded but still hinting at their former vibrancy, depicted scenes from mythology, daily life, or exotic landscapes, further enhancing the immersive experience. Historians still argue about the precise techniques used by Roman architects to calculate the stress and load-bearing capacities of their massive concrete domes and vaults. While they didn't have modern mathematical formulas, their empirical knowledge and practical experience allowed them to build structures of astonishing durability and scale. Consider the sheer longevity of these structures. Many Roman bath complexes, even those in ruins, still stand today, millennia after their construction. This speaks volumes about the quality of their materials, the skill of their builders, and the enduring principles of their architectural design. They built not just for their generation, but for the ages. As you stand beneath a colossal archway, feeling dwarfed by its scale, you can't help but marvel at the vision behind these projects. They were not simply public works, they were grand expressions of Roman power, culture, and their deep-seated belief in the importance of public life and shared communal spaces. They provided luxury and utility on a scale that would remain unmatched for 1,000 years. The very air within these ancient walls seems to hum with the echoes of history, a silent testament to the countless lives that once moved through these spaces. The genius of Roman architecture lay not just in its grandeur, but in its ability to marry immense scale with intricate functionality, creating environments that were both awe-inspiring and deeply practical. You feel a profound connection to the past, standing in the very footsteps of emperors, senators, and ordinary citizens who once sought relaxation and rejuvenation within these same majestic walls. The architectural marvels of the Roman bathhouse are not just ruins. They are enduring monuments to an empire's ambition, its technological prowess, and its enduring legacy of creating spaces that catered to the total well-being of its people. With this profound understanding of their physical grandeur, you prepare to make your own serene exit from this incredible journey. After journeying through the grandeur of Roman architecture, witnessing the ingenuity of their engineering, and immersing yourself in every facet of the bathhouse experience, from the intense heat and refreshing cold to the cleansing rituals, intellectual pursuits, and vibrant social life, your own personal Roman bath ritual is drawing to a close. You find yourself drifting towards the exit, but this isn't a hurried departure. Like every other stage of this profound experience, the act of leaving is part of the overall tranquility, a gentle easing back into the outside world. You might pass through a final, cooler vestibule, a transition zone designed to gradually acclimate your body to the ambient temperature of the Roman street. The air here is no longer thick with steam or fragrant with exotic oils, but carries the fresh, familiar scent of the outside world, perhaps mingled with a faint, lingering echo of the bathhouse's unique aroma. The sounds, too, begin to shift. The distant murmur of the city, once so far away, slowly becomes more distinct, a gentle reminder of the world you're returning to. Mainstream, historical fact. Roman bathers typically concluded their experience with a final cool-down period and a gradual exit from the bath complex, often feeling thoroughly refreshed and revitalized. You might pause to gather any remaining personal effects from the Apodyterium where your journey began. Your clothes, which seemed to carry the dust of the world when you entered, now feel different, lighter, perhaps, infused with the subtle scent of warmth and cleanliness from your time within the thermi. As you dress, you notice the renewed suppleness of your skin, the relaxed state of your muscles, and the profound clarity of your mind. It's a feeling of complete renewal, as if every worry and tension has been meticulously scrubbed and massaged away. As you prepare to step out, you might cast a final glance back at the magnificent interior. The vastness of the halls, the gleam of the marble, the intricate mosaics, they all seem to hold a deeper meaning now, imbued with the memories of the journey you've just completed. This wasn't merely a building. It was an entire ecosystem of well-being, a microcosm of Roman life and leisure. You carry with you not just a sense of physical cleanliness, but a profound understanding of a fundamental aspect of their culture. Historians still argue whether Romans typically spent several hours or an entire day at the baths, or if quick visits were also common. It's likely that the length of a visit varied greatly depending on an individual's leisure time, social status, and personal preference. But the ideal experience certainly involved a significant dedication of time. The thought might cross your mind, if only my daily routine included a several-hour journey through a place like this. Forget traffic jams and emails. Give me a Caldarium and a good ellipse any day. It's a delightful fantasy, highlighting the luxurious efficiency of the Roman approach to self-care. You step out into the Roman street, and the sounds of the city, the distant rumble of carts, the chatter of merchants, the cries of street vendors are now distinct, but they don't assault your senses as they might have before. Instead, you perceive them with a newfound calm, a serene detachment. The sunlight feels warm and pleasant on your skin, which still retains a hint of the bathhouse's lingering warmth. The air, which might have seemed dusty and ordinary hours ago, now feels crisp and invigorating. A quirky or fringe tidbit. It was not uncommon for Romans, particularly those of higher status, to arrange for a light, refreshing meal to be brought to them immediately after leaving the baths, consumed either at home or in a nearby shaded area, continuing the relaxed post-bathing languor. Your body feels light, almost buoyant. Your stride is relaxed, unhurried. The pervasive sense of tranquility from the baths still wraps around you like a comforting cloak. You carry the feeling of deep physical and mental restoration into the bustling world, an inner calm that acts as a shield against its demands. The Roman bath ritual was designed not just to cleanse, but to recenter, to prepare you to face the world with renewed vigor and peace of mind. You might notice small details on the street that you previously overlooked: the vibrant colors of fresh produce in a market stall, the intricate carvings on a public fountain, the nuanced expressions on the faces of passersby. Your senses, sharpened by the immersion in the baths, are more attuned to the subtle beauty and texture of the world around you. The purpose of this gradual wind-down, this slow re-entry, was to prolong the feeling of well-being. A sudden shock, a rapid return to the stresses of daily life, would negate the therapeutic effects of the baths. The Romans, ever practical and understanding of human nature, orchestrated the entire experience from entry to exit to maximize its benefits. Historians still argue about the precise social impact of bathhouses on Roman public health and civic life. Beyond hygiene, it's clear they were crucial social leveling spaces, but the extent to which they genuinely improved health outcomes or merely served as places of leisure is still debated. As you walk away, the grand facade of the bathhouse slowly recedes into the background. It stands as a monument to an era, a place where the physical, social, and intellectual lives of Romans converged in a symphony of indulgence and practicality. You are now leaving this profound experience, but the sensations and understanding you've gained will linger. The feeling is one of profound satisfaction, a quiet contentment. The dust of the Roman streets no longer feels oppressive. The distant sounds of city life are merely a gentle hum. You feel utterly rejuvenated, as if reborn, ready to meet the evening with a renewed sense of peace and clarity. The Roman bathhouse. Ritual, with its meticulous progression and holistic approach to well-being, has left an indelible mark, a feeling of deep, serene calm that settles into your very being. The light is softening now, casting long, peaceful shadows as the day gently fades into twilight. The sounds of the city are growing quieter, more muted, as if the world itself is beginning to settle down. Your steps are light, unhurried, as you drift further away from the grand baths, carrying with you the profound sense of peace and renewal. The air is cool and soft on your skin, a comforting final touch to your journey. The images of the steaming Caldarium, the bracing Frigidarium, the rhythmic schlick of the strigil, the quiet rustle of papyrus, and the convivial chatter over olives and wine all blend into a serene tapestry in your mind. You close your eyes for a moment, savoring the tranquility, the final echoes of a truly timeless experience.